Good evening everyone, and thanks for stopping by. Lately, I've been talking a lot about RVs and camping, but I'd like to take this opportunity to get back to what really inspires me, which is people. A lot of people just kind of fumble through life day to day without a lot of purpose. And other people seem to have a great passion for something. Whatever that thing might be, it's that passion that really inspires me. Now, this story might not inspire you to go running through the mountains like a madman, but hopefully it will inspire you to take a look at your life and see what your passions are and how you might be able to pursue them. Okay, so here's the story. Kendrick comes to me and he says there's this route that he wants my support on. He goes on to tell me about this route called Nolan's 14. Several people have completed this route, but only one person has added the 15th 14er, which is the Mount of the Holy Cross. And this route was dubbed Holy Nolan's. 120 miles through the mountains with 55,000 feet of ascent, 55,000 feet of descent, and it goes over 15 of Colorado's 14ers. Crazy? This is something Kendrick has been preparing for years and years. He has scouted out every portion of this entire route. Actually, preparing for the project was really neat for me to watch him do. He had all of his clothes laid out, he had his maps, we went grocery shopping together, and I got to learn exactly what I needed to do. He made me a really great chart with exactly where I needed to meet him. I started to feel like this is kind of a big deal. So, of course, I asked my mom to help. We only had one small window at the beginning of September that we could make it work, and so we did. All right, here we are. How you feeling?
I guess ready as I'll ever be.
It's about 6 a.m. and you're about to take off, and I'll see you at the next checkpoint.
Yeah, first stop, Holy Cross.
Are you excited?
And 14 more after that.
Are you excited?
Yeah, nervous, excited. I'll see you on the other side of Holy Cross. Here we go.
You got this. Before Kendrick started this route, he had been doubting his current mountain fitness level. I was so excited to support him because he had such passion for getting this project done that I knew no matter what, it was going to change his life in some way.
Not exactly as fit as I would like to be right now. Ideal scenario would be to finish the 120 miles in about 3 days.
Heading up to the first little pass on the way to Holy Cross. This is my first sunrise I get to enjoy. Figured I'd stop and appreciate it now.
From the start, I felt pretty good going up the first peak.
Alright, first summit down, 2.5 hours, 14 more to go. Heading that way. See ya, Mount Massive. Down off the summit of Holy Cross. Nice little drop off. Finally getting ready to descend off Halo Ridge. Down into there. Eventually get on our road and go see Mandy. Let's do it.
I wasn't totally sure what to expect. All I knew was that I wanted to be the best support I could be to help him have the best chance at success that he could have. So I wanted to do absolutely everything I could do at every aid station, and I had no idea what that was going to be, but whatever it was, I was going to do it.
I think no matter how much I try to prepare them for how low I can actually be when they see me, how exhausted, how just ready to quit, they're not going to be prepared to see that.
I get to join Kendrick for a couple miles.
Yay!
He just finished the first peak, and part of this little route is on a road, so I thought I'd join him for a minute.
Doesn't always go as planned. Fortunately, just a little bloody nose. Only got a few more miles until I get to the Leadville Fish Hatchery. Have a nice little break whenever I get down there. See Mandy and her mom. Coming up to the Leadville Fish Hatchery.
Oh, woo!
Off my contacts.
How you feeling?
I've been on my feet for about 13 hours.
I felt pretty good. And obviously I felt like I'd been on my feet for 13 hours, but I didn't feel wrecked or anything like that. I felt the only regret I have there is I laid down in the truck and tried to sleep for 3 hours, but I didn't sleep at all. I just felt like that was wasted time.
Are you scared?
No, I just want to get moving before I get cold. Hiking through the night in general is kind of tough. Obviously, it's dark, it's colder. Your world is just kind of confined to however far your headlamp will shine. And in some cases, if the battery's dying, your world's shrinking. I'm on my second summit, almost 40 miles into my day. That was a tough one. Always hard in the dark. The summit just kind of looms overhead and never seems to get any closer. Yeah, the nighttime can be pretty grueling.
One thing I didn't realize when I asked my mom to help me was exactly what I was asking my mom to help me with. My mom and I got very little sleep. We had to drive down some of the roughest roads in the middle of the night. I remember there was one spot we met him in the middle of the night where he had to cross a river. It's 39 degrees out and it's 5 o'clock in the morning. So, let's go.
So Mandy actually walked across the water crossing with me to carry a towel and to carry my sandals back to the other side.
Finally reached the top of Mount Elbert. A little under 3.5 hours after leaving. Last time I saw Mandy. Frigid wind today.
How's 50 miles feel?
Feels like I've ran and hiked about 50 miles. Been awake since 4 a.m. yesterday.
Are you doing better or worse than you thought you would?
Surprisingly better.
These stretches were kind of nice. This was the second one of the route. Mandy could join me for, 2-3 miles. Just kind of walking along the road, having company. That was the biggest thing. It gets lonely. It's nice to have company, even if you're not talking. I appreciated those stretches.
All things considered, not too bad. Got some little nagging aches and pains, but nothing too awful yet. Ugh, I'm tired. And this one's been a struggle. I think I need to take a nap whenever I see Mandy again. Been awake for almost 35 hours now. So a little tired. But the views aren't half bad.
Just over halfway through the route, there's this really awesome little ghost town called Winfield. My mom and I took Rocky there, and we found the best place to camp while we waited for Kendrick.
I knew around this point that I could probably fall asleep if I wanted to or tried. I decided to hit the trail, try to get above the trees before sunset.
There was one aid station, it was up at Clohessee Lake, where he had told me he wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it, because the road going up was a really rough 4x4 road.
I packed my bag leaving Winfield with the intention of not seeing them.
But I was determined to be there for him.
I held on to a little bit of hope, thinking that, maybe they'll get the truck up there, maybe I'll get to sleep in the back of it for an hour or two.
And of course, when my mom and I got there with the truck, it was absolutely impassable. So I decided to wade across this river and hike up there to meet him anyway. If I don't make it to this aid station, then he's not going to see anybody for over 20 miles. I'm standing literally in a river right now, which my car can't drive through. So I'm going to get up there about midnight and hopefully see him right after that. I didn't realize how freaking cold it was going to be, and it was the middle of the night and I was completely exhausted. I just kept waiting and waiting for Kendrick.
I was exhausted. I was so tired.
The longer and longer I waited, the more I actually worried about him.
Felt like it took me forever. It just felt like a death march to the top.
And my mind was actually starting to play tricks on me, and I'm not even the one doing this crazy run.
Mandy and I had taken some walkie-talkies, and I tried to radio her to see if she was at the lake, just hoping to hear her voice.
And I remember standing there and just hearing this walkie-talkie crackle.
By some chance, she was at the lake, and she heard me.
And it was Kendrick saying, "Hey Mandy, are you there?"
and it was really staticky. I have no idea what she said. I just heard her voice.
I can easily say that that was both the worst moment and the best moment of this entire route.
I started descending into the night. When I got to Clohessee Lake and saw Mandy, I felt pretty relieved.
He was probably in the worst condition I had seen him the whole route.
Not really devastated, but just ready for a break. I wanted to sleep.
I didn't have the car with me, and he had nothing to sleep in. I remember we kind of just curled up next to a rock, and I let him try to sleep for about an hour.
Then I finally decided to go. It took me like 2 hours to barely make any progress going up the next mountain. Stopping, curling up in a ball behind a rock, shivering. I finally just decided to turn around.
I got back from meeting Kendrick at about 4 a.m. last night, and when I woke up this morning, I found Kendrick sleeping in the back of the truck. That means that he was so cold and tired and exhausted that he turned around and walked all the way back to where we were camped.
I just wanted to sleep. I crawled out of the back of the truck, got some food. Mandy started using her powers of persuasion to talk me into getting back out there. I really didn't want to hear any of it. I mean, I'll be honest.
And the one thing he warned me about was that at some point he was going to want to give up.
I had no intention of getting back out there, and I just wanted her to stop trying to get me back out there.
And he told me to push him and not to listen to him.
I don't think there's any chance I was going to get up Harvard. I mean, even if I went back out to finish, I still got like another 40 hours.
When is he seriously needing to stop, and how far should I push him?
I honestly don't know if I can get my body moving again.
I encouraged him as hard as I could. I gave him a foot massage, I gave him a back massage, I gave him a full body massage, I fed him food.
And as the day progressed, I started to loosen up a little bit. Finally, around lunchtime or so, I started to feel like I can get back out there. I hit the trail again. My legs are feeling pretty good, and got some food and water in me. So, go see how many more peaks I can get. See you on the other side of Many Mountains. Well, this right here was rock bottom earlier this morning. Now, I'm gonna follow this trail behind me, thanks to the encouragement of Mandy. See y'all at the top. Had a tough one, but made pretty good time. So now I'm heading over to Belford, maybe Oxford. We'll see. At least I got this awesome sunset to enjoy, warm my back a little bit. As I got up there, I realized I could kind of chase the sunset to the summit of Belford and get up there and watch the rest of the sunset. Feels so good to see the sun after being on my feet all night long.
Okay, I am standing here at the next aid station to meet Kendrick. When he comes down, he'll probably be somewhere around 80 miles, 90 miles in. And my friends came out here to join me. And I'm super excited to have the company, and I think Kendrick will be happy to see some people. He told me he was getting a little lonely, so.
Mandy had hiked in about 2 or 3 miles with a couple of her friends, and that was a relief. I had been out alone in the dark, hadn't seen a single person.
We took a nice long rest there. I brought him Domino's pizza, which he had been begging me for.
She also gave me a foot massage here, which was pretty impressive because my feet probably stink pretty bad. And I finally get up and kind of reluctantly hit the trail again. I mean, I was ready to be done. And then finally started heading up Yale, about 500 vertical feet below the summit. A little storm rolled in, some thunder, a little bit of lightning, some grapple, which is just a really fine hail.
When I saw a storm on the radar, I just told him, do what you feel you have to do.
I just hunkered down under a boulder for a little bit.
Oh, there's a little storm rolling through. So I'm just hunkering down for a few minutes.
Just shivering because I left all my warm clothes with Mandy. Just finally decided I'd had enough. and decided to turn around and bail on the route. You know, the storm was a convenient excuse, but really I think it was just like total body exhaustion. And then Mandy met me for about the last mile of the hike out.
The second I saw him hiking back down the trail towards me, I was just completely proud of him for making it up nearly 11 peaks, which most people can't even dream about doing in 1 year, let alone in a couple of days.
You know, I had my doubts about it at the time, but sitting here now with the pain that I've had since quitting the route, all of my doubts been kind of removed. On my big adventures in the mountains, the words of Edward Abbey always come to mind. May your trails be crooked, winding, lonesome, dangerous, leading to the most amazing view. May your mountains rise into and above the clouds.
So here's to finding your passion. Love and light.
Let it show the way. Open all the windows.